Well, here it is, guys, the all-new, first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6. It's a three-row crossover from Cadillac, and it slots between the XT5 midsizer and the legendary Escalade. But what is this car all about? Is it about luxury or sport or both? Coming up right now, it's an in-depth debut from Detroit. The XT6 is available in two flavors, the premium luxury you see right here, and also the sport model in the back. But under the hood, there's only one engine option. It's a 3.6 liter V6, it's direct injected, and it produces 310 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque, and it's made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission. You could have it in the luxury model with front-wheel drive only or optional all-wheel drive. And in the sport model, it's all-wheel drive all the time. But the tuning is very different. And I spoke to the chief engineer to find out everything about it. Tell me about the platform this vehicle is built on.
So we talk about platforms, and this vehicle shares some underpinnings with a few other vehicles, notably the XT5, which has been in the market for a few years. It's a very flexible platform that allows us to vary wheelbase and track width and change the vehicle to meet the needs of the customer, right? So this being a three-row, we took the platform, we made it a little wider in wheelbase, a little longer in track, and that gives us the proper dimensions and proper proportions for a three-row crossover vehicle.
Some people might be wondering how this compares to like a Buick Enclave. That vehicle's a little bit larger
much
than
larger,
this,
yeah,
right?
much larger, correct. The goal of this was to provide three rows that are very comfortable, but do it in a package that's a little more right-sized, a little more maneuverable, and being a Cadillac, we didn't want to give up any of that nimble handling that we've been working so hard to promote on every single vehicle in the lineup.
Okay, here I am in the back of the XT6, and if you're wondering, is this just basically a Buick Enclave with a Cadillac body on top of it? No, that's not the case. The XT6 is actually quite a bit smaller. The wheelbase is about 8 inches shorter. The overall length is about 5 inches shorter. There's less cargo capacity. So the Cadillac is more of a sporty premium crossover. The Enclave is more of a utility crossover in this space. By the way, I'm 6'2", and I have decent amount of headroom. Yes, my head just barely touches. And if I bring the seat back, just enough legroom. I could go to lunch back here in the third row, but not cross country. Tell me how the Sport differentiates itself from the luxury model.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, both are very capable vehicles, right? These are Cadillacs, these are drivers' vehicles. The premium luxury model will certainly skew a little more towards a luxurious ride, a little more isolation. Whereas on the Sport model, what we tried to do was match the performance of the vehicle to the persona, a little more aggressive, a little more agile and sporty feel to it. So the Sport model comes standard with a twin clutch rear drive module, faster ratio steering gear, as well as our continuously variable damping at all four corners. What that allows us to do is provide a little sportier handling, a little more precise handling without compromising any of the ride quality.
So talk to me about the rear module. Is that for the all-wheel drive system? Some
Correct.
people may not understand that.
Yes, absolutely. So it's part of the standard all-wheel drive system, and on the Sport model, what we have is two clutches which allow us to vary the torque between the left and right rear wheels. By doing that, we can actually give the vehicle a little more neutral handling feel and actually enhance the cornering capability of the vehicle by delivering more torque to one wheel versus the other.
Talk to me about the dampers. Are they magnetically controlled, or how does that work?
So they're electronically controlled, but it's actually changing the valving within the damper itself. And so again, what we're able to do based on the driving situation, whether the vehicle is cornering, rough roads, things like that, we adapt to the driving situation. It gives the vehicle more body roll control without sacrificing ride quality.
What was some of the competitors that you looked at?
Yeah, they're really competitive segment. We looked primarily at the Audi Q7, Volvo XC90. Those are some of the stalwarts in the segment. They've been in the market for a while and are successful. What we believe we've been able to do is put together a really well-balanced package to take them head on. So what do you guys think about the way the XT6 looks? Style is very important in this segment because the XT6 is going up against cars like the Audi Q7,
BMW X7, Acura MDX. There's an Infiniti QX60. Of course, there's also Volvo XC90. It's a very crowded segment, and Cadillac has to carve its niche into that space. I actually like the angular appearance. At first, in images, the car looked big, but here in person, it's shrunk down a little bit, and I like the way it looks.
Really what we tried to do, you heard it earlier, make every seat the best seat in the house, and the goal was to make sure that there were no compromises in the spaciousness in any of the 3 rows. We wanted our 3rd row passengers to be as comfortable as the 1st and 2nd row passengers. So when you get in, you see a lot of spaciousness, a lot of headroom, a lot of shoulder room. You also see connectivity in all 3 rows. We have USB ports, charging ports in all 3 rows, 2 of them. So there's no arguing between the kids over who gets to use the USB port. Also equipped with standard 4G LTE Wi-Fi.
Behind the 3rd row, there's 12.6 cubic feet of space for cargo. If you fold the 3rd row down using these handy buttons, and the seats operate fairly quickly, there's 43.1 cubic feet of space. Then finally, you can actually fold down the 2nd row using these buttons here as well. But still, you have less cargo capacity in this XT6 than you do in a crossover like the Enclave from Buick. I have a fun game for you guys. How many cameras does the XT6 have? Well, the 360-degree view has 4 cameras, right? There is one on the rear of the hatch, there is one under each mirror, and there's one in the front. But here we have another camera, and this one is feeding the rear view mirror. You've seen that feature on other Cadillacs and other GM cars and trucks. And there's a camera up here. There's also a camera at the top of the windshield for the safety system, the adaptive cruise control system. And if you get night vision, there is yet another camera for a total of 7 cameras. By the way, down here is a long-range radar that's also used for the adaptive cruise control system.
So this one that we're showing here is 6, but both the Sport and the Premium Luxury model are available in both 6-passenger and 7-passenger configurations.
Okay, but one engine option.
One engine option, correct.
And you have front-wheel drive. You can get a front-wheel drive only. In the Sport, it's all-wheel drive.
Correct. Sport is standard all-wheel drive. The Premium Luxury is front-wheel drive standard with an optional all-wheel drive system.
And you still can lock out the rear axle, is that right?
So what we do is we have 4 drive modes, and our base tour mode is a front wheel drive only, where the entire rear drive system is disconnected for maximum fuel efficiency. If you switch into all-wheel drive mode setting, nothing else changes except the all-wheel drive now is fully active and ready to respond immediately.
So it can shift power back and front and
Correct.
back and side to side in the rear.
Correct. On the Sport model. Now the Premium Luxury model is equipped with a single clutch rear drive module system, and that allows us to vary torque from the front to the rear.
And tell me just lastly, the infotainment system. You have a new control system.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that the first time it's available?
This is the first time that it's available on a Cadillac. This is our next generation multifunction controller. You may be familiar with the XT4 system, which is the rotary only. We're upgrading that to include a jog feature, which allows you to not only rotate through the menus, but also to flip from one menu to another within the screen itself.
On the inside, the seats may look familiar, but this is a brand new vehicle with a new infotainment control system. Not only can you rotate that knob to select between menus, but you can also use it as a joystick, so there's still a touchscreen available. Of course, the XT6 is loaded with a host of driver assistance features. That includes adaptive cruise control. It's not the Super Cruise feature though, but a night vision camera is available, and this is a very luxurious, comfortable interior in the 1st and the 2nd row, and of course it has a panoramic sunroof. And just look at the wood on the dash. I mean, it just looks well done, well executed. If it was your car, which one would you pick? The Sport or the Luxury? Or do you have a preference?
I personally prefer the Sport model myself. I think it's a very clean and aggressive look. But the Premium Luxury is a beautiful and elegant model as well. Can't go wrong with either one.
What's your favorite feature? Do you have like a favorite part of the car?
For me, my favorite part is the driving experience, and it's hard to describe. You really have to get in it and drive it to appreciate it. But it's a really well balanced, stable feeling vehicle, but can be driven very, very spirited. I mean, it's a very capable handling vehicle, and it's a lot of fun to drive.
can you lean back and just relax once in a while too?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
While you're driving,
Yeah.
no doubt. That's the point of a luxury vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, Andres, pleasure.
But there's still a few things we don't know yet. We don't know fuel economy numbers or pricing, but the XT6 is going to be available in the summer of this year. Go back to tflcar.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews, and also coverage from the 2019 Detroit Auto Show.